Hello, world. Qapla. It's Birdo Prey 5. And welcome to my review of, reaction, spoiler-free review of Cobra Kai Season 3. Now, it's spoiler-free in that I assume you've seen Seasons 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai, and the Season 3 trailer, which I have playing on a loop, is fair game. But other than what's mentioned in the trailer or in the prior two seasons, I'm going to do my best not to spoil Season 3 for you. There are some really great scenes. We get some callbacks to Karate Kid 2 and the movie, and you see that in the trailer here. So I'm not spoiling too much. Most people know that. But I needed to speak about it because Cobra Kai has made the leap from YouTube Premium, which was honestly the only reason I ever signed up for YouTube Premium, to Netflix. And now all 3 seasons are on Netflix. So if you hadn't seen it when it was on YouTube because you didn't want to give YouTube $12 a month just to see a half-hour TV show, I get it. But now that it's on Netflix, no excuses. And I've even convinced a few friends who don't have a Netflix account, never did, to use their 30-day free trial that Netflix will give you right now, because you can watch all 3 seasons of Cobra Kai easily within 30 days. I mean, if you binge it, you could probably do a season a day. But even if you did a season a week, that's more than enough time, and you're going to get some great entertainment. Cobra Kai has been the best 3 seasons of any type of television show, whether it was sci-fi or drama or comedy, anywhere on television in the last 5 years, in my opinion. Or the Orville, a close second. But Cobra Kai, consistently the best. Now, we got Cobra Kai, when it was on YouTube, its first 2 seasons, they were half-hour episodes, maybe a little longer. And there's only 10 episodes a season. Now that it's on Netflix, the episodes are around 40 minutes, give or take. But again, there's only 10 episodes. So this is not hours and hours of content. Even as modern series goes, it's not a long series, but each season tells a story. It tells a good story. It shows respect to the movies that we grew up with. I mean, Karate Kid, one of the, most famous movies of the 80s. Karate Kid 2, not as much, but still, if you like Karate Kid, you saw Karate Kid 2. It's got the original actors to come back. We've never seen a show that shows the respect to the previous actors that this show does. They didn't try to bring back Mr. Miyagi. Unfortunately, the actor passed away. And you know what? It's probably, not saying it's better that he died, but the show is better for him not being a main character, because they've got to work around that. And they work around that by showing pictures, by talking about him, by having flashbacks to previous movies. And now, you've seen season 1 and 2, hopefully. But even if you didn't, Daniel LaRusso, aka Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, he's got a family now. He's married. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. He's got a successful business. And the series starts out where Johnny Lawrence wakes up and he made nothing of his life. He wakes up, he's a drunk. He's on the floor of a shitty apartment. He did have a kid at some point. I don't know if he ever got married and divorced, or they were never married, but the kid doesn't live with him. The kid's kind of a fuck up. The wife is out there, or the ex-wife. She's a lunatic, and he's he's working a boring dead end job, and he decides he's going to get some respect back by opening a karate dojo. And he brings back Cobra Kai because he sees that the kids kind of need it. And his first students are nerds. They're nerds. They're nerds. They watch Doctor Who and they play Dungeons and Dragons, and they're getting the shit beat out of them by bullies. And the schools, aren't doing anything real to protect them except having meetings and talking about feelings, which is a bunch of new age bullshit that doesn't actually stop the problem. Learning karate actually stops the problem because they can finally defend themselves from bullies. And Daniel LaRusso, Ralph Macchio, and Johnny Lawrence, they have a rivalry, and that plays out through the first 2 seasons. And their kids come into it. And I'm not gonna get into the details, but it's loving, it's awesome, it's respectful, and it is the most non-woke show on television. Not only is it not woke, they make fun of modern day wokeness. They make fun of, and they literally in this season, they make fun of snowflakes. Okay. We get backstories in season 1 and season 2. We get the Johnny Lawrence backstory we never got in the movies. We got Daniel LaRusso's backstory through the movies. We never knew who Johnny Lawrence was, except a bully. Or was he a bully? We find out, he was a bit more complicated than we thought. And in season 3, which just came out January 1st, so if you haven't seen it, if you didn't know it came out, yes, it's out, available as of January 1st on Netflix across the world, I believe. We actually get a backstory on Sensei Kreese, John Kreese, the badass, and I don't mean badass in a good way, but badass as in a-hole badass, who was the head of Cobra Kai back in the movie days. And he comes back in season, I don't know if he comes back in season 1 or 2, but by the end of season 2, he is very involved, let's just say, with Cobra Kai. And him and Johnny Lawrence have disagreements. And this season, we actually get the backstory on how did John Kreese, how did John Kreese come to be who he is? He heard he was special forces. We knew he was a veteran. What happened? How did he get there? Why did he sign up? Where did he fight? All these things. His commanding officer, what type of action did he see? We get all those questions answered. Do you feel bad for the guy afterwards? Well, I don't know if you feel bad for the man. He's an adult and he's still acting like an ass, and he's putting people's lives in danger, especially kids. But at least he's not just random bad guy they pulled out of nowhere. He's a flushed out character now. And there's you have some feelings towards the guy. Like, man, this guy kind of had his own issues. He's not pure evil. And one of the lines that they do say in this trailer, and is true, is that, when you're fighting somebody, you're fighting your enemy. Your enemy doesn't think they're evil. You think they're evil. And this is something we all need to learn, especially around politics, and especially today, is that when you're on the other side, disagreeing with somebody, whether you're physically fighting them or verbally fighting them or intellectually debating them, they don't think they're evil. You might think they're evil. They don't think they're evil. They think they're the hero. You think you're the hero. And the truth might be somewhere else. Okay? There's 3 sides. to every story, your side, their side, and the truth. And I got to say, it might be an oversimplification, but more times than not, I'd say that's probably true. One of the things that a lot of TV shows of recent who've introduced children have done, the children were assholes. I didn't care about the kids. I didn't want to see them. The parents were the ones I wanted to know what was going on. It's different in this show. The kids are interesting characters. They are not just your typical Generation Z, always on their phone, not really taking an interest in the world type of people. There are a couple, because those people are out there, but they are not generally the main characters. The main characters here have lives, have emotion, have interests, have feelings, and have senses of right and wrong. And they all have journeys to overcome. Now, for those who watched the first 2 seasons, you know that at the end of last season, Miguel fell and hit his back extremely hard. And we knew it was going to start the season with Miguel in the hospital. And it remains to be seen, even through this trailer, whether Miguel's ever going to walk again. And yes, we do get an answer in the season. I won't spoil it for you, but Miguel does wake from his coma, and that hit home personally, because I had been in a coma for quite a while, 11 years ago, and at one point, and this is just a small spoiler, Johnny Lawrence is arrested, and even though it's not his fault, he's not arrested. He's not arrested for Miguel. Johnny Lawrence didn't do anything to Miguel, but he hears on the news that the person who did do something to Miguel is still at large, and the police say something along the lines like, they can't wait till they find that murderer. And Johnny Lawrence like, what do you mean murderer? Did something happen? Did the guy die? Did Miguel die? And the cop just says, no, but I've been around enough of these cases that after 2 weeks in a coma, the coma usually wins. And that sent some shivers down my spine. And that was the very first episode of the season. And I purposely watched it before Mamo Pray was awake, because, to be honest, seeing Miguel in a hospital bed in a coma, unable to move, unable to talk, and with his family around him crying, it hit too close to home. It hit too close to home, and I knew it would be better I watched that episode alone, and I'm kind of glad I did. All I can say is, if you have even the slightest interest in the Karate Kid movie, or you just, you grew up in the 80s or the 90s or even the 70s, and you are tired of seeing the garbage writing that you've been seeing for the last 5+ years on television, in movies. I mean, Jesus Christ, we just saw Wonder Woman 84. And I didn't think it was the worst movie that everybody, a lot of people are telling it's the worst movie. It's not the worst movie, but the writing is horrid. Horrid writing. Star Trek Discovery, the writing is horrid. The actors, yeah, they could be better, but it's all the writing. The writing. Doctor Who, not my forte, Doctor Who, but the writing is the problem. It's the writing, the writing, the writing. Somehow, all the competent writers that are left in Hollywood are working on this show. I promise you. If you don't have a Netflix, if you don't have a Netflix subscription, get your 30-day free trial. Watch it. You will be happy. Listen, it's not going to bring you a year of happiness. There's 30 episodes, roughly maybe 35 minutes each on average. It'll keep you happy for a couple of weeks. And there is a season 4 on the way. They're even talking about a season 5. And I hope those seasons go well. Every time they make a new season, it worries me. It worries me that this is it. This is the season they're going to go woke, or this is the season it's all going to come crashing down. And this season where they jumped from YouTube to Netflix, I was very afraid. But I am happy to report that no, season 3 is as good as the first or second season. There are a couple of more disappointing episodes in that they're a little bit more boring than I had hoped. Every episode can't be super action-packed, though quite a few are. But there are no bad episodes. There's just episodes where I'd hoped a little more. Also, one big thing that was teased in season 2, and I can confirm does come into play in season 3. Allie was the girl that from the original Karate Kid movie that both Daniel and Johnny Lawrence were fighting over. Allie was originally Johnny Lawrence's girlfriend. Daniel LaRusso came in. They broke up. Johnny Lawrence and Allie broke up. Daniel moved right in. They started dating. Johnny tried to get her back. It turned into the fights. It turned into everything. All the fighting turned out to be over Allie, more or less, in the first movie. In the end, neither of them ended up staying with Allie. Daniel moved on, married somebody else. Johnny Lawrence moved on, had a kid with someone else. Allie moved to Colorado, as we find out in the early seasons. But at the very end of last season, Allie writes back to a friend request that Johnny Lawrence made, or she made to Johnny Lawrence on Facebook. And it takes quite a while for Johnny Lawrence to realize she wrote back, because one of the things is he doesn't know how technology works. And so once he sees she writes back, she does come into the picture. She does have a part in this season. Now, it is not as big a part as I thought it was going to be, but she's there, and it's just good to see her. It's good to see. It's a scene. She has parts, let's just say she has parts with all the adult characters. She has parts with Johnny Lawrence, parts with Daniel, parts with his wife, and it's a good time. And as most seasons end, there is a major fight at the end of the season that kind of get us ready for the following season, and this season is no different. Now, there's no giant cliffhanger on, somebody breaking their back or whatever again, but that's fine. I think they did it once, and that's all they can do. You don't want to end the season every time on something like that. It's good. It's good. That's all I can say. Maybe I'll do a spoiler review in a couple weeks after I'm more confident people have seen it. I really don't want to be the one to give away something big. I'll say in one of the early episodes, I think it's the second episode of the season, there is a PTA meeting, and it is hilarious. It is one of the funniest scenes of the entire season. And I really think you guys should at least get through that episode. If you make it through the episode with the PTA meeting and you are still not finding this funny or interesting, then I apologize. Maybe we just have different tastes. But I suspect you will enjoy it, and I really hope you will check it out, and I really hope you will subscribe to Netflix to check it out. I know there are other ways of watching things, but if we're going to get good quality content, we have to support the companies that are bringing it to us. And I know Netflix has put out a very questionable movie recently, and a lot of people are upset at Netflix for it. It's not something I ever going to watch on Netflix, but Netflix is big. They've got dozens and dozens of original content stories, and I would strongly recommend that you watch it legitimately, so they see and they know that you're watching this. You watch Cobra Kai, and if you cancel Netflix after your free trial or a single month because you're mad at them still for the other movie, that's fine with me, because they will see what you watched and then you canceled, and they will know, hey, we need more things like this and less things like that other thing. I get it. That's fine. Please, please, please check out Cobra Kai on Netflix, season 3. If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons, even better. You get much better value, 3 seasons for the price of none if you've never had a Netflix subscription before. Okay, that's it. I'm not shilling. I just had to share my feelings. Make 2021 a good year. Start out watching a great TV series, feel a little bit better, have some fun, have some laughs, and remember when things were a bit easier. I love Johnny Lawrence. I love his attitude. It's like you pulled somebody who was stuck in 1984, brought them to 2020 or 2018, and set them loose. And I love it. It works perfectly, and there's nothing else to say. So I'm bewildered. This is like my first positive review in a long, long time. I'm usually reviewing crappy Star Trek episodes and movies that bust. Awesome. This is awesome. This is the opposite of all that. Check it out. I hope you enjoy. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you indifferent? Are you not going to watch it because of some other reason? I'm interested in knowing. I loved it. I'll do some more on it if you're interested. We'll do a spoiler video in a few weeks. Qapla all. Bird out.